Now, I told y'all Grandma Ellen would be nefarious, but y'all did not believe me. Okay, I didn't know it was going to be in this form, but I knew that she was going to be terrible. Also, side note, again, when a young boy comes running from the woods telling you to go, trap, murder, 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 mayhem, mayhem, murder man, murder man, murder, you run. You do what that little boy says. But before you do any of that, okay, I need you to... My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? We are back to talk Teacup Season 1, Episodes 3 and 4, and a lot went down, you guys. And we're going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to summarize or give you a synopsis of what happened during this episode, and then we'll get into what happened with each of these characters, okay? So spoiler filled. If you haven't watched Episodes 3 or 4, go watch, but then come back. We'll be live tomorrow where we'll be getting into the thick of it all, okay? I want you to bring your theories, your expectations, your disappointments, what you loved about it, what you hated about it, because we're going to talk about it all. So let's get right into it. So we know that Donald's wifey went the way of Lot's wife, okay? She's stuck out there. And what you may not know is that Donald stays out there all night watching the body. I honestly want to know how any of the people in the Chenoweth family slept that night. I ain't going to bed. I'd have been up all night. Ain't no way, because I need a plan. We need a plan for food, for provision, rations, okay? We need a communications plan, Morse code. How are we going to communicate with the outside world and figure out what's going on? I would be planning. All right, but that's not so. So Maggie wakes up, James wakes up, again, useless, and they decide they each need to go on their own tasks. But what I will give it, in the world of TV land and all of the trash parents, I will say kudos to Maggie for at least making sure Mare was gonna watch Arlo while you went gallivanting and on your mission. She's actually doing helpful things. She goes and helps Donald get repaired, and she goes out into the woods based on some privy information that he gives her about a body that he found out there, okay? Then we see James go on a mission, and he has to go with Reuben, aka Jacob's brother, because they need to check on the Navarro ranch, because that's an adjacent property, and they need to go see what's going on over there. Grandma Ellen, useless. Valeria, useless. Then we have Mare, Arlo, and Nicholas, and they go on a quest that leads them to the woods to find out where Harbinger actually came from, you guys. By the end of this episode, we find out that Gas Mask's name is actually McNabb, and he is a black man, and we have a new visitor. So y'all, so let's get into the thick of it, and let's go character by character and see what happened. We are going to start with James and Reuben. So before they head out, Reuben's ear hustling, and Maggie's going off on James because you got the heifer that you slept with sleeping on my couch, and I'm pissed about it. Reuben ain't know his wife was smashing James, or that James was smashing his wife, and now they have to go on a side mission to the Navarro ranch to see what happened. They get out there, and Reuben, aka Jacob's brother, is like, if you fell over that line, nobody would know. Who would know? How would they know? How would they know? And James is looking suspect. They make small talk. There wasn't a huge dynamic there other than I see you, I see you, and what you did, right? As he's saying, as Reuben, aka Jacob's brother, is saying goodbye to his wife, you can see things are tense. But again, it is what it is. They get to the Navarro ranch, and James immediately, don't get far. We see the bodies. The Navarros are laid out. He opens the basement door. Next thing we know, he's in the black. He's in the ground, in the dark. James, you're useless, just like Jim on From, y'all. I promise. James and Jim are cut from the same cloth. They have the same blood running through their veins. There might be brothers. I don't know. Reuben gets snatched up. I want to know, drop it in the comments below, is Reuben still living, or did something happen to him? He's been clearly snatched by someone. Was it the same guy who snatched James in the basement? I mean, we'll see. And so ultimately, as the episode wraps up, we see that this may be actually a leftover Navarro family member. And he's like, I'm going to give you, a couple moments before I finish the cigarette. I'm going to need you to say one thing. that's gonna make me keep you alive, because I don't know if you're here to get me. I don't know if you one of them or one of us, or trying to help me or trying to hurt me. So you got to convince me. And I don't know, Jim talks slow, so I don't know if he's gonna have enough gumption to get the information out as needed. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we have Grandma Ellen and Valaria, and Grandma peeps game instantly. She knows that Valaria was screwing her son. But again, her son can do no wrong, because Granny's been an op from the beginning. Now it's just confirmed. They get a visitor from Alien Nation in a bulletproof vest, okay? And they don't ask no questions. They let this man right in. They tell him everything he want to know. I said, the foolishness. My mother told me something a very long time ago. She said there is nothing worse than an old fool. And that's exactly who Grandma Ellen is, an old fool. Valaria can't stop running her mouth. I said, didn't y'all see the man and the sign last night? What did they come back and tell you? Because James at least drew a map. He said, this the boundary. This the boundary, okay? And then he said, trust no one. But do they listen? No. They don't think fat meat's greasy. And so they proceed to tell everything that happened. As they're running off at the mouth, Maggie pulls up and he's like, oh, you must be Maggie. Well, of course I must be, because they told you everything. He's like, I need to see this son. Because the son, when he was impacted. And she said, I saw a body out there. It was Navarro. I think her name was Maria. He said, yeah, I was trying to get her. I was trying to spirit her away and get her to a safe space. But, you know, things didn't happen. And so instantly she knows something ain't right. Okay. So he says, well, where's Arlo? She says, okay, I'll take you to him. They're up in the barn playing. The other people were like, oh, are they really? Girl, shut up. She's trying to cover. They're so dingbatty. I don't like dumb women in shows. Don't make them dumb. We're supposed to have intuition and discernment. And I never thought it'd be Serena Joy, aka Maggie, who has all of the discernment. I never thought that. And so she's bringing him up to the barn, up to the little loft area, and is like, yeah, they should be up here. He gets up there and like, oh, they're not up there. She's like, you're lying to me. He says, well, yeah, I am. But if you get me to your son, you know, we can make quick work of this. And she said, no. He said, well, you're smart. And she says, yeah. He said, but that won't get you anywhere, because there's no way out. She says, well, I'll be the judge of that. He gets him with the blicky, pop, pop, pop to the head, and subdues him, has him tied up. But why Maggie left him alone with Dumb and Dumber, I will never understand. Why, girl? You needed to be the one to watch that person, that thing, that entity, that alien is what I'm going to call him. Because it was only a matter of time. Valeria gets there and they have this quick conversation and exchange about Maggie. And she's like, you hate me, don't you? And Maggie was like, no, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I hate the fact that you're not the person you thought you were. And she says, oh, you're cold, Maggie. That's what James is talking about. If I would have slapped you and threw you off the little thing in that moment. Because how dare you? How dare you? How about you cross the line and go home? How about you do that? Okay, close your legs to married men, ma'am. And so they're talking, they're into it. And Valeria, you know, I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, don't hit him anymore. Girl, shut up. So we leave Grandma Ellen in there. He says, oh, can you help me? It's getting tight and I just need something. Let him starve, let him itch, let him be uncomfortable. I'm not getting close to you. What does he do? Zaps out her life force and puts his inside her, and we see the funny eyes. We see the teacup eyes, okay, happen. And I said, all right. Granny is now the op of all ops. She is Alien Nation. This is definitely Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's exactly what this is. These alien spirits have come down and will take over your body if you get too close. Like suck in, suck out. That's what he did. And so now he's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Because he's disoriented and doesn't know. And Granny Op blows his brains out. Done. And so now she's trying to, you know, stage the scene. So she bashes herself in the forehead to look like he did something to her. Again, so we can get to Arlo. Because that's what this mission is going to be. So the kids were there, right? And Arlo is telling Mayor and Nicholas, listen, I know you're supposed to look at me, but we need to go. And then he starts talking about premonition. harbinger, harbinger. And you know, a harbinger signals the approach of another. And he basically is like, an assassin is on the way. We need to get out of here. Mayor is giving pushback, but finally Punk A Nicholas is like, come on, let's go. Let's go. We're still watching him. We'll just take him into the woods. So we go into the woods and we see a crash site. And in this crash site, all the animals are dead. We see this rainbow potion there. And he's like, we need to get this. It's poison, but we need to drink it, but not too much. If you drink too much, it'll kill you. If you drink too little, it'll kill you. And if you don't drink it at all, the assassin is going to get you. Okay. So just as they're kind of negotiating what they need to do in this moment, and they finally trust that Arlo's being inhabited by harbinger. So here's the thing. These must be both the same alien species, but one is kind of fighting for good and one is fighting for evil. And I think that's what these two factions represent. I think the harbinger represents good, and the guy who came in the vest, Alien Nation, over there represents the bad force, right? Who wants to still kill and destroy. And so they're there trying to figure out what they're going to do with this potion and how they're going to drink it and all that so they can be safe. Because again, he's like, we're not safe, but we need to run, hide, run. The assassin, he don't miss. Okay. And so then we see Gas Mask, aka McNabb, pop out, and he got the sign, give it to me. I'm not doing it again, y'all, but you know, he got the sign and he says, give it to me. And they're like, no. He crosses that line, baby, and they get into it, and Nick, who ain't bust a grape in a fruit fight, ends up stabbing him. So now McNabb is on the ground bleeding out. We find out that he was in fact a black man. I told y'all. And now we hear Arlo, and we talk about the lady in the woods and how the harbinger was her at first. And he was like, yeah, she died. Now I'm Arlo. And so now McNabb and Arlo have reconnected, or the harbinger, right? And so we get to kind of, they allude to something in this planning that they had, and I hope that we flesh that out more in the future episodes. Was there anybody I missed that was important? No, that's all of them, you guys. Overall, these two episodes were really good. Again, I am so enjoying Teacup and this journey and this mystery that we're going on. I am really enjoying this slow exposure to what's happening, right? When Arlo pointed up into the sky and was like, they say, you from up there? He said, yep. So I'm excited to see how it unfurls, what Granny Op is going to do, how Maggie is going to get her Lara Croft Tomb Raider on. Here for everything. She was the standout for me in these two episodes. I said she's the only one with any sense, she and Arlo. But again, if we would have listened to Arlo last night, we could have been halfway somewhere else. I'm just going to sit that right there. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of episodes 3 and 4 of Teacup. Are you watching it? Are you invested? And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.